everyone, and thank you for stopping by my channel once again. Instead of showing you guys the process of how I did the part 2 of the April 2018 Simon Says card kit, I went ahead and just I made them, and um, I'm just going to go ahead and show you exactly what I did, and I can go in detail as to what I used, because I feel sometimes when I'm editing that I miss some details because I'm trying to move quickly because the clip is moving so fast. So basically I won't be doing this all the time or from now on. It was just because it's part 2 and it's getting towards the end of April, or we are at the end of April, and May is going to have a whole new other set of cards that I will be featuring in different card kits. So just to kind of make this a quicker process so it gets uploaded and everything. So anyways, so the first card I actually did was this one right here. And I used the what is this, magenta cardstock that came. I don't remember, because today was the first day I had time to actually finish the cards and make them and everything, and so I haven't messed with the card kit since the part 1, which was towards the beginning of April. So anyways, I went ahead and used the white cardstock because there was 2 Simon Says cardstock papers, and so I used part of this to make this front part panel for this card. So I used the magenta card base. I'm not sure what it's actually called, sorry. I misplaced the paper where it actually had all the names and everything, but I mean, you've seen so many card kits, you already know this by memory. So I used that, and I cut it smaller than the size of the card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I went ahead and used some painter's tape right here. So I masked this area right here. I'm sorry. So I masked this area right here, and I went ahead and stamped with 2 different archival inks. I used this lime green archival ink. It's the mini. And then I use the darker green, which is another archival mini ink, and that is in library green. And let me try to get the inks for you. Whoops. Sorry if you heard that. So the lime green is actually the Vivid Chartreuse. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And library green. And I stamped that, and of course, because I masked this area, I didn't get anything in here in the middle. Then I stamped these butterflies that don't have any of that like window shapes. I use the Simon Says ink pad from the March card kit in Hollyhock. Yep, that's what I used. And I stamped 4 of these, and I know they say to use odd numbers, but I don't know. I just went ahead and did it. And then I used distress inks right here to kind of blend these colors out, and I used Shabby Shutters, and then I used Bundled Sage. So I blended all that, and then I used some of the fossilized amber distress ink here and splattered it, and got this effect. So then I removed the masking tape, and then I added 2 strips right here of adhesive tape with my runner tape, and I got the fancy foil that came in the kit and laid it on there and then removed it. And I don't care that I didn't get a straight edge. I kind of wanted that, you know, what is it, distress edging there. I just thought it gave it more character. And then to finish off, I went ahead and I poked 2 holes here at the spine of the card, and I wrapped around some jute string that I had and tied a knot, and then put some adhesive so the knot wouldn't move out of place. So that's pretty much it for this card. And I'll have some close-up pictures on my blog, so you can see that, and I'm also going to put them on the video. And then before I forget, I stamped the sentiment thinking of you, and I used some Gina K Designs gold fine detail embossing powder, and that's pretty much it for the inside. Now I don't show the inside because all I plan to do is put some white cardstock paper here, and then I don't rewrite another sentiment, just write whatever I'm going to be saying personally in the card, and that's it. But normally the whole design is mainly out here. Sometimes I will include the inside, but for time constraints I only focused on the outside, and since I'm not planning to give these cards anytime soon, they're just kind of gonna sit there until I'm ready to grab and go, or unless I plan to donate them. So that's the first card. The second card is this one right here. So this one was really quick. Pretty much every other card, actually except for the third one, is going to be a quick card. So this one, I grabbed the red lined pattern paper, and then I grabbed the lined rainbow with the white lines pattern paper. I keep thinking that I'm in frame and I adding it too far up. Sorry about that. So what I did here, let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay. So what I did here is I laid this pattern paper down first, and it wasn't perfect because I knew this was going to cover it. So I was only focused on this bottom portion being, neat. And then I grabbed this part, fit it to size to fit the front of a standard card, and then I used my Frisker scalloped scissors here, and I had drawn like a swirly line like the stamp has, just a guide to where I need to cut. So I ended up drawing this line, and then I just went along with the scissors and cut it. Then to mount it, I used some of this fun foam that I have from Walmart. It's like you get 50 of these sheets for like $5 maybe. And I use glue to mount the red part of this here up. So that way there's a little bit of dimension from this side, from this rainbow to the red paper. And then I had, I think in part 1 I showed you where I had already pre-cut and pre-colored some of the butterflies and some of these leaves. So this was very easy. So all I did was I chose the butterflies that I wanted to be on this card, and I adhered them um, where I wanted them. And then I had some of these leaves as well, and I inserted them to kind of look like they were coming out, and then the butterflies were, I guess, coming out with them. And then I bought some this Ranger pigment ink pad in Glacier White, and I'm not a fan of it. So it does say opaque ink, but I really thought it would show like in the dark kind of papers, so it didn't. So I don't know. The only reason I got this one was because when I went to Hobby Lobby, they didn't have any other brands in white. So this is the only one that was there, and so I didn't feel like going to another store, so I got this one, and so far not a fan. But anyways, I'll keep testing it out. So I stamped using that ink pad, You Make Me Feel Like I Can Fly, and it was too opaque and it just wasn't the look I was going for, so I ended up using some Gina K Designs fine detail white embossing powder, and it looked a lot better. It was definitely what I was looking for. And then I used some you can use glossy accents, but I had this from Love from Lizzie card kit, and there's always Nouveau drops included, and so I wanted to use them. So it's a fun way to use your what's in the card kit, but also what's in your stash, because otherwise I don't know that I would use it as often. And so I went crazy with the dots, and actually every card has these dots. So it ended up drying pretty nicely with all the glossy. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it's pretty shiny here. So yeah, and I went ahead and used the blue card base for this, and so that's why I chose this blue butterfly, because I thought it tied in well together. So yep. And okay, so this card was a very happy accident. I don't know if I still like it or not, but it was a very happy accident. So what I ended up doing is I grabbed the other white Simon Says cardstock paper that came in the kit, and I cut it down to a standard card size, and I did it top folding, I guess, using those same measurements. And so the idea behind this was, in the background, I actually used some distress colors, the Tim Holtz distressed crayons, and I did this gradient effect, and then I used some of the distress, what is it, sealer, like that, is that sealer? I can't think of the name. But it's like a clear thing, and you rub it so that way anything that's water based does not remove. So I went ahead and I used that, and then I grabbed some acrylic black paint and I added some splashes. So where I went wrong was I put this card like this on the on my stamping platform, and I thought everything was in the same place, and so when I went to stamp some butterflies across the panel, I ended up stamping them kind of like off, so it looked mirrored, and it was kind of like, do I throw the card away or do I just make it work? So I made it work. So I'll try to get creative. So here in the background, I have some circles, a heart, and some banners. Now, these you normally get from a die cut machine, because I do not cut this perfectly. So I do not cut perfectly. So obviously I got myself a little die cut machine, So I did purchase the Zizix Sidekick in white. I was torn between getting the Tim Holtz one or the regular white one, and I ultimately went with the white one just because it comes with more stuff. So here it is right here. That's what I ended up getting. And I'll make sure to make a review, a small review of it. But for now, it's working great, and it comes with a starter kit. So the starter kit comes with like heart shapes, a banner, and some circles, some really nice basic shapes. And so what I did to kind of hide the fact that I stamped behind all this, I did 3 circles. And so because I had used the largest butterfly stamp set, so I needed something pretty large to kind of mask that I had made a mistake. So I die cut these circles in the white Simon Says cardstock, and then I used the ink pads that came in the kit, the Mermaid Lagoon, and then the Squeezed Lemonade, and then I mixed the 2 of them together to make this green circle here. So it goes from blue, yellow, and then green. And then I went ahead and die cut these 2 banners with the dies that came with with the starter kit from the Sidekick. And then I did this heart. So I needed all these pieces to kind of hide what was behind, because I felt that the circles weren't enough to hide the stamping that I had going on in the background. So everything was placed for a purpose. If I lift this up here, you'll see the wing here of the butterfly. So there is that, and these were pre-cut, the leaves were pre-cut. So all I did was I added everything on here, and then I added this bottom just to add a little bit more interest, to tie this busyness up here and have some busyness at the bottom as well. And I used my Friskers scalloped scissors here. And that's what this turned out to be. Not my favorite, but made it work. So I just stamped on the heart, "You are simply the best." So that's that one. Next card is very simple. I used the yellow cardstock, and I used this rainbow kind of diagonal striped pattern paper, and then I used some of the Simon Says cardstock paper towards the bottom here, and I covered the top, and like the other card, I did this swirly line with the scalloped Frisker scissors. And then I had this this butterfly already stamped and colored, and so all I did was stamp this swirly line here with "I adore you," stamped "I adore you," and then I glued down this butterfly here, stamped these 2 butterflies in the same Simon Says what is it, hollyhock ink, and then with the other Simon Says stamp in Wisteria, I went ahead and did the swirly lines here. And then to finish the card off, I added some Nuvo drops all over the card, and then I added some of that aqua shimmer Nuvo shimmer pen. The name's so long, I'm not sure if I'm getting that right, but anyways, I added that glitter shimmer into the butterflies here. I'm not sure if the light's catching it, probably not. Let's see. No, it's not catching it. Okay. No, okay. Well, that was it. So this was a very simple card, and I like simple cards because they are faster, and I think sometimes simple is okay. The other card, which is the last one that I made, is this one right here. And then I use the other yellow cardstock. So initially my idea for this card was very different to what it is right now. I had planned to cut out on the spine of the card right here a butterfly, and so like it would pop out, only the top part would pop out, but it just wasn't working and it wasn't looking pretty. So I went ahead and I masked that, and I used this rainbow diagonal bold pattern paper, and then I used this other rainbow with a white kind of like I don't know, looks like watercolor. I don't know, it just looks like what do you call that, like paintbrush. And so I used the Frisch's scalloped scissors here again, and then with my die cut machine I cut these hearts. The die cut comes in the with the die cut machine, so it cuts these 3 hearts. So all I did is I grabbed different pattern papers that I had left over, the pinky one, the purple, and this blue one here. And I kind of wanted to hide the fact that I had placed these two like on top of each other. So I went ahead and did this kind of like lining on top, so kind of masked that. And then I stamped the sentiment to have a beautiful day. I just felt with the hearts and a lot of the rainbow going on. It's like happy, smiley, good vibes. So I put have a beautiful day. I stamped one of the butterflies that's side facing, and then I added a swirly on one side and then another swirly coming from the back of the butterfly. And I again added a bunch of Nuble drops, which I don't know if you can see. But yeah, that was it. So let me show you the cards once again. So let me zoom out. Okay, so okay, so these are all the cards I did. I know it's not my best work, but I did what I could. I think I mentioned this on the first part of this card kit. I'm not really a rainbow person, and I'm not really a butterfly person. So it was really a challenge for me to make anything kind of cute. You know, when you kind of have to force yourself to kind of make something happen. But the reason, and I think I mentioned this in the video as well in part 1, that the main reason why I got this card kit was because some card kits are stash builders, and that was the main reason, because I got sentiments with the stamp set, and then I also got the distress oxides, so these were stash builders. I got a stencil out of it, which I do like the stencil, and I wish I would have used it a little bit more, but I wasn't trying to be too technical this time around. And you know, so I did purchase this one for the stash builder aspect of it, and the brush, which I ended up using on a different type of cardstock that wasn't like a slick surface, and it worked a little bit better. So I'm warming up to the brush there. But anyways, those were the cards, and I can't wait to show you the other card kits that I have coming, and I can't wait to show you the giveaway as well. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being patient on this video, and I'm curious to know which card was your favorite because I know this was not my best work, but I'm curious to know which one you like the best. And like always, thank you so much for watching, and give this video a thumbs up, and I hope you got somewhat inspired. I hope that you can still get some inspiration despite this being so late in the month. I don't know if you've already finished all your 10 cards with using your kit or not. But anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.